Hi everyone, my name is Greg Hall. I am the Habitat and Stewardship Coordinator for the Coastal Heritage Preserve, which is where we are now. This is the native plant nursery where I grow all the plants for the habitat restoration project that we are doing here that you're going to be a part of today. So this is funded by the Moody Methodist Permanent Endowment Fund, and I work for Artist Boat, and we are here to provide inspiration and education through unique coastal experiences, which is what you are going to have when you do this project with us. So the Coastal Heritage Preserve is about a 700-acre prairie preserve. It's coastal prairie, but it also has elements of salt marsh and freshwater marsh on it. The part of the land that you're going to be restoring today is the coastal prairie. And the reason that we're going to do that is because it's a critically endangered habitat. That one time there were 9 million acres of coastal prairie in Texas and Louisiana. Now we're down to less than 1% of that, which is 67,000 acres. So to help the coastal prairie to recover from where it has been historically damaged by overgrazing by cattle, other types of farming and agriculture, fire suppression, other human development being the top thing there that it has been damaged by, what we're going to do is we're going to take these plants that you see here in the nursery. Some of the kids that are going to watch this have grown these plants in their schools. We're going to take those out into the prairie. We're going to plant them on pre-prepared plots of land. And the reason we're going to do that is to increase the biodiversity of the plant life on the preserve and try to bring it back into its original state that it was on before agriculture and human development came to this land. So it's really important that we do that because thousands upon thousands of species of plants, insects, animals, birds, all of those things exist here in this habitat. Without it, they have no place to go. So it is just really important that we conserve this land for those animals. So we're gonna at all times recommend that you socially distance from each other. That's both our recommendation and the CDC recommendation. So we need to remain 6 feet apart if at all possible, and definitely you're going to be socially distanced from the Artist Boat Adventure Leader who comes out to escort you out to the planting site and show you where tools and the plants are going to be at that you're going to be using. So the CDC also recommends that if you're in close quarters with other people, you wear masks and gloves. We'll be providing you with work gloves, which will be sanitized before and after you use them, but you're welcome to bring your own masks and nitrile gloves out here. We won't be providing those, but you are welcome to bring them. So the next thing that we're going to cover are the 3 E's of respect, and those are, the first E of the 3 E's of respect is each other. We don't want you to argue amongst yourselves or horseplay or do anything that might get you hurt. And you definitely need to listen to the adults that are with your group, including the Artist Boat Adventure Leader, so that if we're telling you to do something, it's for your own safety, not just because we want to tell you to do something. So the next E of respect is the environment. And we are guests here on a prairie preserve that thousands of animals and plants live on. This is their home, not our home. As I said, we are guests. So we want to respect their home. We don't want to needlessly destroy plants. We don't want to needlessly kill anything unless it's maybe fire ants or mosquitoes that are biting us. We also do not want to leave our trash here. If you bring snacks or drinks or any of those things, please pack your trash out with you. We don't throw it away on site here because food trash attracts wild animals into our volunteer areas, and we don't really want that. We would like them to stay in their home out on the prairie, and we stay over here in the volunteer area. So the next E is the equipment. You're going to be loaned some things today, some tools, a shovel, some work gloves, the pots that the plants are in. We would like to get those back in as good of condition as possible. I know that normal wear and tear and accidents happen, but please be careful with our equipment. That way, when we get it back at the end of the day to sanitize all of it, it's still in good shape and usable by the next group that wants to come out. So now I'd just like to go over a few things that are gonna keep you safe while you're here on the preserve. This is a wild area of southeast Texas. There are many hazards here that probably the same ones you can find in your yard if you live here in Galveston. There are stinging and biting insects like bees, wasps, fire ants. You do want to be very careful of those things out here. If you're standing around for any period of time, you might want to glance down at your feet and make sure you're not standing in ants because they all like to bite at the same time to let you know they're there. So you really got to be careful of that. Bees and wasps aren't generally a big problem out here. But, you just want to be aware they're out there and try to not let them land on you. So, all those things you can encounter right in your own backyard here in Galveston. So it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that you find them out here. So Another thing that you'll find out here a lot, especially in the areas that we mow for the restoration, are tripping hazards like vines and sometimes thorns. Be really careful of those, and we do recommend that you wear proper footwear. Please don't wear flip-flops or Crocs or any of those things out here to work, and try to wear long pants. That'd be ideal. It would keep you safe. Also, out here on the preserve, there are many different types of animals, almost none of which are dangerous to you. There are all kinds of mammals, raccoons, coyotes, nine-banded armadillos. Those things live out here, but they're generally going to stay away from groups of people. So you might see one at a distance, but it's not going to come bother you. Those types of things happening are very rare. If you actually see an animal that is allowing you to approach it, you probably don't want to approach it. It might be injured or sick, and in that case, you would notify an adult in your group or the Artist Boat Adventure leader that there is an animal over here that's not moving away from the group. So actually, though, the number one hazard I want to talk about out here is dehydration. Even if it's not very hot, sometimes you get dehydrated and don't realize it. So I would like for everybody to please take their water with them when they go out to plant and stay hydrated. If you feel like you need a break, take a break. We want everybody to leave here just as safe as they got here, and we don't want any incidents related to any of those things. We encourage you to bring sunscreen and wear it if you think you need it, bug spray, and wear that if you think you need it. And if you don't want to wear sunscreen, please wear protective clothing that's going to protect you from the sun, depending on the day that you pick to come out, what the weather conditions are like. Okay, so here we are at the planting site. Relative to where you started at when you parked and came out here, we are northeast of there. Your Artist Boat Adventure leader will guide you to and from this site, and you can actually see the parking area from here. If you need to walk back and go to your vehicle for any reason, or use the portalet that's over there at the guest parking area, you can do that easily from here. It's not that far of a walk. So out here is where the plants all get planted, and here beside me is where I'm going to be sanitizing all the tools. All the tools will be sanitized before and after each group uses them. So everything will be sanitized, at every step of the way. I mentioned that we are going to loan you gloves. I'll show you in a little while. You're just going to drop your gloves when you're done into a bucket here that is full of a weak bleach solution. And I'll also spray all the shovels down with a similar solution. So I'm going to demonstrate for you now exactly how we're going to sanitize all the tools that you're going to use. So what I'll do is every time before and after any of these tools are used, it will be sprayed with this weak bleach solution to go ahead and kill any germs that are on it. I'll spray the entire one side of each shovel, just like this, making sure that everything's covered, and then I'll flip them over. And I will spray the other side. And once again, this will be done before and after anybody uses any of the tools. And once you're done with your gloves, if these were a pair of work gloves, I would just drop them right here in this bucket where they will be cleaned and washed and hung out to dry, and then the next group will be able to use them later. Okay, so down this way and along the front here, there are 2 rows of flags on the ground. All of these flags are about 6 feet apart, which not only does that allow you to maintain your social distancing, but we plant our plants here for restoration on what are called 6-foot centers. That means every plant is 6 foot from the plant before it and the plant beside it. So the row of flags across the front is going to be where you start to plant, and the row of flags going this way is going to give you kind of a gauge to determine when where the 6-foot difference is for where you're going to plant your second plant. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you just to show you how that's going to work. So if I'm going to plant on this flag right here, this is where I start. I'm just going to pull that flag right out of the ground, and then I'm going to dig a hole that's appropriately sized for the plant that I'm planting. That is easy to do. Well, I know like a lot of people haven't actually used a shovel before, and even if you have, maybe you didn't necessarily use it for the purpose that we are today, digging specifically sized holes for these pots, but it's very easy to do. So to properly use a shovel, what you want to do is you want to rest it on the ground and put both hands on top. Then you're going to touch the back of the shovel with both of your feet. So somebody that has a lot of weight like me, I can just step on the shovel and it's going to sink into the ground. But if I was small, like say a 4th grader, I might have to put both feet against the back of the shovel and jump on top of it like that to get it to sink in the ground. So once you've done that, you want to move your shovel in a tight circle. You don't have to dig too deep, just deep enough for that pot. And once you've gone all the way around in a circle, you don't want to just pick your dirt up and throw it aside, because you're going to use the dirt to fill in around the plant. So the easy way to do this is to keep all the dirt on the shovel and just set it to the side, just like that. Now you have your plant. What you want to do with the plant is, this is the way I like to do it. I take my hand and shape it just like a claw, and I put it down right on top of the soil. Then I flip the plant upside down, give it a little bit of a shake, grab by the hole right there, and it comes right out of the pot, all in one piece, just like that. What you're gonna see here is that the roots are all balled up on the bottom, and that's not good for the plant. It means it's been in a pot too long. What you wanna do is gently break those roots away. That's called root binding. You wanna gently break them away so that the roots are going down and they don't continue to grow in a circle. Then you've got your plant ready. You're just gonna sit it right in the hole. Ideally, it's gonna sit right at ground level. Then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take some dirt off of your shovel that's conveniently still on there, and you're gonna fill in the edges around your plant. So now, you've completed one plant. There it is. That's just how it should be. So, once that happens, where do you plant your next plant? The easiest way to find that out is, of course, you can look at the flag that's over here, that's 6 feet away. But what you can also do is put the back of your foot right against where your hole started and just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you'll plant your next plant right here, approximately 6 feet away. Okay. So I really hope that that you and your family will come out and participate in the Moody Permanent Endowment Fund Habitat Restoration Adventure, on the Artist Boat Coastal Heritage Preserve. And we really hope that you'll invite other families to become involved. You can register for this program at www.artistboat.org, or you can call us with any questions at 409-632-0388. So thanks for watching the video. We look forward to you scheduling your event and coming out and meeting us and participating in the Habitat Restoration Adventure.